here we are, catechisms, catechism great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in the state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones who late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money and the power, never be fake. Stick the code, stop for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same poverty at your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10, 3 PhDs that be on the CNN. DBT feed, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here, I'm Dr. Boyce TV.
All right, everybody, what's going on? What's going on? I hope you guys are having a good day. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World and the Black Business School. I want to say good morning to everybody as you guys come into the chat and come into the live stream. Hello to everybody on Instagram. My Instagram is The Real Boyce Watkins. And also those of you on Twitter, what's up on Twitter? The Twitter account is Dr. Boyce Watkins 1, Dr. Boyce Watkins 1. If you could, when you come in, do a couple of things. One, please hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the share button. Hit the subscribe button. If you're on Twitter, please retweet this. Also, if you are Black and proud, if you put Black people first, then I want you to type B1 in the chat. So everybody, let me know that we're on the same page. Type B1 in the chat. We put Black people first, and this is a platform for intelligent Black people. So all unintelligent people are welcome to get the fuck out. All right, so we're about to actually talk a little bit about something that's been discussed all week. Y'all know that Black people do it different from everybody else. We take the same thing everybody else is doing in some cases, but we do it completely different. We take it to a different level. And our job is to create the new mainstream, right? You got the mainstream media, which is the ignorant media, in my opinion. They don't really hit the issues that we want to hit in the way that we want to hit them. And they also don't talk about the things that matter the most. So today, actually, I want to talk a little bit about some updates on what's going on with Kobe Bryant, what mainstream media isn't going to talk about, and just ways the NBA can also commemorate Kobe Bryant as we move into All-Star Weekend here in Chicago. So in order to do that, I'm bringing in my homeboy, my friend, Mr. Jeff Lightsey Jr. From the Ball Sports Network. So I'd like to ask Jeff, how you doing today, man?
I'm pretty good, Boyce. How about yourself?
Doing very well, very well, very well. So you are a sports guy, and you're over at Ball Sports, which is theballsportsnetwork.com, by the way, THE, theballsportsnetwork.com. And you've been doing some analysis, not just on Kobe, but on a lot of aspects of sports. And you had a perspective on Kobe that isn't really being talked about in mainstream media. And in case you guys probably know this, but you know what we're focusing on here is, you know, a lot of people are noticing that Kobe, when he died, his 13-year-old daughter Gigi was on the helicopter with him, and they were going to one of Gigi's events. I think they were going to a basketball game for her or something like that. And what really isn't being discussed as much, and I think it's up to us to have this conversation, is Kobe's love for being a dad, and not just his love for being a dad, but also how this kind of counters the narrative that we tend to see in media when it comes to dads, especially Black dads. So Jeff, can you kind of share your thoughts and begin that conversation for us?
Yes. So what's been trending on Twitter is this hashtags called Girl Dad, right? And it all stemmed from an ESPN reporter named Elle Duncan. She went on, you know, everybody's been given their mementos of when they met Kobe or how they met Kobe or how long they've known him and how sad it is that he's gone. But Elle only met Kobe one time. It was for an event, and she spoke about how she was 8 months pregnant at the time. And Kobe came up to her and was saying, "Oh, you know, what are you having?" And she said, "I'm having a girl." And he just like was elated, right? And because at the time he had only had 3 daughters. Eventually, obviously, he had 4 daughters. And he said, you know, she's like, "Would you try to have another child? You know, try to get a boy?" He said, "Man, I'd have 10 more girls if I could, you know, like, because I love being a father to women. Like, I love being a girl dad," is what he said. And so she, you know, went into basically tears saying, "I'm glad that, you know, we're sad that he's gone, but I'm glad that he died doing what he loved doing. It's being a dad, a girl dad." You know, that's kind of how the memento ended. And what was so, you know, touching about that to me is because in a lot of mainstream media, when we talk about fathers, and especially Black fathers, it's like non-existent, right? Like it's either an estranged relationship or non-existent. Like if we think about some of the biggest shows on TV, right? Like Empire. Let's think about Empire. Like they You know, that's one of the biggest shows in the Black community. And Lucius, we know what kind of dad he is, right? Like he is this dad that he puts the money and the music and everything. I don't really watch Empire, but just from what I understand, like he sent his own wife to jail to keep his music and money alive, right? Okay, so there's that portrayal. There is one of my favorite shows on TV that's still going is Power. In Power, the son kills the dad, right? Like, or essentially, like Tariq ends up shooting. It's like who shot Ghost, and it looks like Tariq is the one who shot Ghost, which is his son. So this, like, those are two of the biggest Black shows on TV, and the portrayal of the father is just terrible, right? And so Kobe is like breaking what essentially this mold and this narrative, and like he was this loving father that essentially died doing something, being a father, basically. Like Kobe started this whole, boys, I don't know if you know this, but that gym that they were going to, the Mamba Academy, the Mamba Gym, Kobe essentially started because his daughter started to grow into the love of basketball. Like Kobe could be doing a million things other than being a basketball coach, right? Like he's a New York Times best-selling author. He is an Oscar winner. Like he was pretty much done with the game of basketball. He was moving on. He was writing books and doing creative things. But Gigi, the daughter that passed away, said, "Hey, Dad, I'm starting to like this basketball thing." So what does he do? He goes out and buys a gym, creates a team, and becomes the coach, and is fully invested in her future in the game of basketball. So much so that because of the luxury and the means that he has, is able to start a gym. So like that's why I think it's so special. That is something that I feel like is not being covered enough. Is in boys, you're a father, you know what I mean? You watch media and you see what's portrayed as for a Black men and a Black fathers in the media. So I mean, you kind of let me know your thoughts on some of this. Like, do you agree with me on how some of that stuff's going? Like, it's pretty incredible.
I'm smiling pretty hard because how many of you, give me a yes or no? Give me a yes or no. How many of you have ever seen she's technically my stepdaughter after we get married July 11th, but she's my daughter. As far as I'm concerned, it's my daughter. How many of you have seen little Tay Tay come on the platform? Tay Tay, she comes on a lot. Coco comes in sometimes, but Tay Tay loves to come on. And the reason I'm smiling is when you told me that Kobe got inspired by his daughter's interests and went and did what a strong father does, which is to literally go create a world where your daughter's talent can be developed and celebrated. You know, like that's the exact sentiment that I had, because some of you may have seen this. I had an event in London, and we had all these speakers coming in and people coming in to do a Black financial event there. And Taylor said, you know, and I know Taylor, she loves to dance, she loves to sing, she loves to perform. And so she said, I want to do a performance at the event. I said, absolutely. So we changed the whole thing so that Taylor could do her performance. She's going to perform at the wedding. And then also when she tells me she wants to be like, it's like she, even when she was little, she would watch like the Oscars and whatever, and would go get dressed up and do an acceptance speech for her Oscar, right? Like just these things where she just had this passion for it. So we've had conversations where I said, you know, I make movies and we're going to get you some acting lessons so that you can be in those movies, right? And so a lot of times that's just an awesome thing. And what I like about it, and this is why this conversation is bigger than just, you know, a Kobe Bryant discussion, because this is a Black community discussion. I mean, God bless Kobe, RIP, love this guy, but he's not bigger than the community. This is not about one guy. This is about the fact that there are millions of guys out there like that. Right? There are millions of dads that are Black and otherwise that love their daughters. So I think the question becomes, why is the counter narrative always the one that's most presented in media? You know, I don't know. Give me a yes or no, guys. And then Jeff, I'd like to get your take on this. Jeff Lightsey Jr. from Ball Sports. That's who our guest is today. Yes or no? Yes or no? Do you feel that Black fathers are fairly portrayed in mainstream media? Yes or no? You know, what do you guys think? Have you noticed that Black fathers are being unfairly portrayed? Yes, if you feel like they are fairly portrayed. No, if you feel like they're not. Say something in the chat and hit the thumbs up button, by the way, if you guys haven't done that. So Jeff, tell me what inspired you really to talk about this? I mean, you're not a dad yet. How old are you? 21, 22?
24.
24. Okay, so you're 24 years old. So you're not a dad yet. So what was it that drove you to want to hit this particular issue?
Because, you know, I've heard you speak, like your father was in your picture, my father was in my picture. So I know for a good chunk of us in this world that our fathers are there, right? Like our fathers are in our picture. I don't want to go out and shoot my dad like Tariq did. You know what I mean? Like my dad isn't gonna build an empire essentially of music or money or whatever and choose that over me, right? Like I know that. But when we look into our media, and those are the two of the most popular shows that feature all black cast on TV, then I was just so astonished, like, wow, like, and then because of Kobe, this hashtag girl dad, right, was trending. And when you went down the trending topic, you saw all these pictures of black fathers with their daughters, right? Like it was fathers from all over the world, every race or whatever, but you saw a bunch of black fathers in this thread. And it was just, I was so inspired because I'm like, that you don't see that often, right? Like you don't see that very often in mainstream media. I mean, you have Blackish, which is a kid-friendly show, a pretty popular show that has a strong black father that's played by Anthony Anderson, and he has. So I'm not going to act like there's no examples, but I do know in a lot of stories, especially by athletes, especially associated with athletics, whether it's men or women, you have a lot of athletes like LeBron James, whose father was never in the picture, or even Kobe Bryant, his father had an estranged relationship. So you hear these stories, but you don't always hear the story about, a father, daughter, or a father, son coming up together and becoming, this great tandem, right? Like this great, example for what a parent style relationship should be. And that's what kind of inspired me, like, man, I really want to hear what Boyce has to say about this and what other folks are thinking about this. Has anybody else noticed this, right? Like how beautifully we're seeing this. I mean, these are two black people, a black figure. He was a world-renowned figure, but he was a black man at the end of the day, and how his relationship with his black daughter was. And it was just it's so beautiful to see. And I hate that it took essentially for them to perish, for them to die, for us to dive into this relationship and dive into this beautiful thing that was taking place. But I'm glad it is being celebrated, or I think it should be celebrated even more, that there are plenty of black fathers that are doing essentially exactly, maybe on a smaller scale, right? Like everybody can't buy this huge multiplex basketball gym, but even if it's getting your daughter acting lessons, or letting her perform at your events, or just taking your daughter to school every day, or whatever it is that you're doing, I think it should definitely be represented by any and everybody that is contributing in these acts. So I mean, I really love seeing that being
all right. Well, everybody, I was speaking with Mr. Jeff Lightsey Jr. from Boss Sports. The Boss Sports Network is the Boss Sports Network.com. Boss stands for Brothers in Sports and Society. So that's thebosssportsnetwork.com. Please hit the thumbs up button right now, everybody. Please hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. If you're on Twitter, please retweet this. Also, you guys know that we're building a new Black Hollywood. So one of the things that we like to do is celebrate Black filmmakers. So tomorrow night, we're having Black Movie Night, where we're going to have 3 short Black films that we're going to show. But we're showing it in a private setting. It won't be distributed online. You have to actually come to the event. But you can actually come for free because you're in this podcast. So if you'd like to join us, go to blackmovienight.net. That's blackmovienight.net, not .com. .net. So blackmovienight.net. Come on in, support Black filmmakers, because the only way it's going to build is if we support it and we create what we want to see. So, one thing I'll say, man, is that, I think it is, I like these counter narratives, being carried out through media. I think the world has been pretty fair to Kobe in the sense that they didn't really drag him too hard about, the controversy of his past, where you had the little incident with the lady, back in 2006, who, from what I understand, I think had been with a bunch of dudes that week or something. They found a semen from a bunch of guys. And, I think that, and I mentioned that, the reason I mentioned that is because, people are quick to throw dirt on a black man's name, but ain't nobody going to talk about everybody else involved. And I think that whole situation was a bunch of bullshit. I didn't like it. I thought it was kind of crazy. And I think that he was treated unfairly in that situation. What gives me hope is the fact that the world has accepted that. They're not holding on to this shaky narrative that was presented, 15 years ago, and they focus more on the man he's become since then. I think Kobe was really a master at rebuilding his brand and recreating himself in the eye of the public. Because I wondered about that. I said, how are all these other people going to react to the fact that he just died? The other thing that's interesting to me is that, when you talk about him being a great dad and that being sort of represented to some extent in media, not as much as I think it should be, but just to some extent. But at the very least, we have these negative images that are coming from other sources, other shows, and whatever that are out there. But what I like about that conversation is that we need to have more conversations about Black dads, period, in terms of the fact that we are being misrepresented. I think that, I have friends that work. One of my friends is an advocate for fathers, and she's in child support court all the time. And she said, "Boy, you got to tell people about all these dads that are in court crying because they can't see their kids, begging to see their kids, getting, just body slammed financially and otherwise." Has anybody ever seen that? Has anybody ever seen like a situation where a father is literally being royally fucked by the mother of the child? And I'm not saying that mothers are bad. This is not anti-mother, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Has anybody ever seen these situations? And nobody talks about that. Everybody sees the Black father the way they see the Black man, which is that we are dirty, we're unethical, we're liars, we don't love our kids, like we're savages. And so I just think that more of those stories need to get out there. What are your thoughts on that, Jeff?
Yeah, essentially exactly right. I mean, that is the thing. Like Kobe, from every source, if we're just talking about him and also just moving forward, I mean, besides that little cheating scandal that he was never convicted of, and I know you've done plenty of videos of how he was never convicted, he settled basically for a lawsuit out of court, whatever. But whatever your thoughts on that is your thoughts. But essentially, from the time he was in the NBA to the end, he was with one woman, has all his children by the same woman, and they were married, for the better part of his entire career, right? I think he met her when he was 18 or 19 years old, and she was 17 or 18 years old, and they've been together through, his death. And the same with a big-time athlete like LeBron James. And we see how LeBron is so supportive of his son, Bronny James. He was at the game last night. He's always shown in a lot of games. And Dwayne Wade is very supportive of his children. So we have examples there. But like you said, the overarching media, I guess, would be of the Black father and what you get in Hollywood. Like I said, if I go back to my favorite show, Power, right? Like it's like my favorite show on TV. But when you sit there and you analyze the characters, right? The central character is Amari Hardwick's character, which is Ghost. And he is a father that essentially left his wife for a lighter skinned woman or Latino woman, and kind of put his children on the back burner for the better half of the show. And the entire show was all about like really making money and making this life for him and this other woman that he essentially cheated on his wife with, right? Like he almost cared about her and loved her more than his children, than his wife, than his family. He essentially broke up his family to be with her. And that's like besides like the drugs and all that other stuff, but that is one of the overarching themes in the entire show. So much so that the son now it's still got episodes left, but in the leaks that it's shown that the son shoots the dad. Like, think about how mad you have to be at your father to shoot and kill him, boys. You know what I mean? Like, and that's being portrayed in our media. Like, that is what's being shown. And that is the depiction of, and we're not talking about an older son. Like, this kid is in high school. You know what I mean? Like, this is a teenage son. Like, it's a high school age son shooting and killing his father. You know what I mean? So, like, that is, and when you see these things like Kobe Bryant or LeBron,
let me go back. Let me jump in right there with Power. Power comes, is partly the brainchild of a guy by the name of 50 Cent. And y'all know, 50 Cent is an absolute genius, right? We all know this. But 50 Cent ain't quite right in the head. We know that too, right? 50 Cent has a lot of issues, one of which is the life or death conflict he has with his own son, right? I don't know if you follow that or not, but I think his son actually, he's been beefing with his son for years, which is weird because his son's like 20 or something, 21. And there was actually, you would talk about trauma. This is traumatic. This is not just people debating or arguing or whatever. This is like trauma for both of them. I think his son took a selfie picture with the son of the guy that had him shot 9 times. Because, 50 Cent built his whole career off of, I got shot 9 times, right? Well, it's fine. Cool. It's a terrible thing to go through. You survived. You might as well get something out of it. But like everybody knows 50 got shot 9 times. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, y'all can correct me on this, but I believe that the guy that his son took a picture with was the son of the guy that allegedly shot 50 Cent 9 times or had him shot 9 times or something like that. That would fuck me up. Like that would really, like, I don't know about anybody else. Give me a yes or no, but like that would traumatize the shit out of me. That literally my mortal enemy. Like, it's one thing if you got a beef with somebody, you hate them, and because we've all had that. I can't stand that son of a bitch. But imagine if that person rolled up on you, or one of their friends rolled up on their behalf and shot you 9 times, including I think in the head and in the face and all this other stuff, and you somehow survived through that, and then your child is kicking it with the son of the dude who was allegedly responsible. That is like not normal shit. Like, and that goes to my point, right? Part of the reason, I think your light's going out, Jeff.
Yeah, my light went out. Trying to fix
okay,
that.
yeah, take your time. Part of the reason that that you see some of the trauma, because Black people, we love to re-traumatize each other. We love to put each other through more shit. Like sometimes we put each other through more shit than the white man does. I mean, let's just keep it 100. Part of the reason that you see these traumatic stories played out on shows like Power and Empire, because those two have been compared. I think 50 and Taraji P. Henson are beefing because they're using the same marketing strategies or whatever it is. But part of the reason that you see these traumatic, weird, awkward, dysfunctional family structures played out is because the people from whom those shows where those shows are their brainchild, the people from whom those ideas emanated have themselves gone through extensive amounts of trauma, right? Like 50 Cent, his whole relationship with his son ain't normal. His son, when your son is kicking it with the son of the guy who allegedly shot you 9 times, you're thinking, oh my God, my son's trying to kill me. He wants me dead, right? The same thing, you look at Empire, that comes from a really fucked up human being by the name of Lee Daniels. Lee Daniels, this is why I just want y'all to know, I don't watch either one of those damn shows. It's not a diss at all. I hear they're good, but I can't watch, I'm not watching Power. I've seen it. I've seen the drug dealer, baller, player, entertainer, rapper bullshit story over and over and over again. I'm tired of Black people always fucking being rappers and gangsters. Call me a coon for saying it, get mad at me, but I'm sick of that shit. Like, it's played out, man. Like, can't we be more than entertainers and athletes? Seriously, like, that's my 2 cents. But these shows, unfortunately, and I'm not hating on the people that create these shows, but I'm gonna say that some of the sick shit that you see on the air comes from the fact that we have a lot of undiagnosed mental health issues that emanate from the crazy shit that happens in our families. That's what we have. And I don't want to watch Power because what I see when I look at the previews, I'm like, okay, I get it. Drug kingpin owns a club. Somebody's gonna get shot. We move in weight. Maybe you're throwing a rapper or a baller, and it's the same damn shit. It's the same ingredients stirred up to make a different stew. And in Empire, same thing. Okay, I get. Okay, entertainer guy makes a bunch of money in entertainment, but he's also in the criminal underworld. So at some point, a Black person is going to murder another Black person, or whatever, and it's going to be made to be as dramatic as possible. So when you look at Empire, Power, and also Tyler Perry movies, you're seeing dysfunction, which is in all these platforms are brain children of people who have experienced extensive trauma and dysfunction. Tyler Perry talks all the time about being raped and molested a billion times, and God bless him. I mean, I'm so sorry they had to go through that, but I think that for the Black community, when you take the most disturbed people, and white folks love to do this, they like to take the most disturbed among us and give those people the biggest platforms, because crazy people are interesting to watch on TV. Like, even on YouTube, the people that have the growing YouTube channels that do really well are the people who get on there and scream and holler and act a damn fool. And we think that's interesting. We think that's fun to watch. The people that are normal, sane, balanced, that are giving something that's positive, they're not going to get the same amount of attention as the crazy person, right? So anyway, I went on a little bit of a tangent with that. Did you get your life straight, man? You good?
Yeah. We got good.
I'm gonna let you finish this off, Jeff. I just had to jump in and break that down for everybody, and I want to make it 100% abundantly clear. This is not a diss on 50 Cent. I don't even know if 50 Cent even knows anything about who I am or what I do. I don't really care, but it's not a diss. It is a little bit of a diss on Lee Daniels. I don't like Lee. Lee's known that for many years. But I just kind of think I want to see a little bit more. That's why we created Black Movie Night, which you guys can join. Again, you can join for free, blackmovienight.net. That's blackmovienight.net, not .com. We're going to do one tomorrow. And I was like, let's celebrate some of the Black filmmakers like the Mark Harrises and others who are looking to create a counter narrative where Black people can be a little more diverse, a little more human. We don't have to be rappers and ballers or deadbeat dads or killers and gangsters and thugs. Like, we can be a lot of the other things that make us human. Like, that's what I think will add balance. So Jeff, go ahead, finish your point, man. I appreciate you letting me have that space to share that, but that just came to me. And when Jesus sends me some, or God, white Jesus, Black Jesus, and baby Jesus all tell me what I need to say, I just have to let it out, man. So go ahead, brother.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, so I just love that the depiction of the Black father, and especially the Black father with his daughter, and seeing that that is now being portrayed and celebrated for, even if it's just for a small amount of time, that we just take advantage of this light that is being cast on us, and then continue to show that we are great fathers, not just to our daughters, but to our sons, and great husbands to our wives, and great boyfriends to our girlfriends, and we're all not like, some of the images that are being portrayed in the media.
All right. I want to acknowledge Green Island Spice. I'm sorry with you guys. I'm using this new software, so sometimes I don't see your donations when they come in. Green Island Spice, it says, check us out, guys. Visit the Instagram page and click on the link. It will take you to the website, a variety of spices with an authentic taste. Thank you all. So Green Island Spice, I don't know if you have that URL, greenislandspice.com, but you should definitely have that URL and put that in the chat when you make a donation. And what I'm gonna do is I'm actually sharing your comment. I'm copying and pasting your comment since you made a donation, so people can go support your business. And I'm copying it in where everybody can see it on every platform that we're live on. So they're not just seeing your comment on Facebook, they're gonna see it on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and some other places as well. And also anybody else who wants some low cost advertising for your business, make a donation in the chat, put in $10 or more, and I will shout out your business. I will say the name of your business from my lips, and actually you can even take that recording and save that and use that for your marketing. This is how Black businesses help each other out, because we're building a new economy. So do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, share, and subscribe button. And also I would like for you guys, if you could, please give Jeff Lightsey Jr. a digital round of applause and a thank you. This is a young brother. He's 24 years old. And y'all don't know the background. I've known Jeff's mother actually since I was 15. Like when I knew your mom, I knew your mom when I was 9 years younger than you. So we used to sit in accounting class, and I was sitting in the back getting F's and D's, and she was actually in the front, or closer to the front, making better grades than me. And she would tell me I needed to do my homework. So Jeff is like family, and he's also really good at sports. And his platform, if you want to go and check out some of his great sports commentary, if you're looking for the young Stephen A. Smith type people that are out here, go to thebosssportsnetwork.com, THE. That's thebosssportsnetwork.com. He does daily stuff on sports, had tremendous insight, very dedicated to his craft, and I have a lot of respect. And I want to say that publicly to you, Jeff. Way to go, man.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Hit the thumbs up button, share, and subscribe button. Please retweet this video. Also, BoyceWatkins.com is my website. So if you want to know about some of the events we have going on, the All Black National Convention, some of the Black movie nights we have coming up, and a lot of the other things we have going on in the Black Business School, just take a visit to BoyceWatkins.com and you can check out some of that stuff. Thank you guys for hanging out. It was real, and we will see you soon. Take care. Have a good day, Jeff.
All right, see you, boys.